Question?
Coach, I normally start this off asking Coach Boykin the good, the bad, and the ugly from last week. So I'll ask that same question to you. Give me your good, bad, and ugly from Richmond.
The good thing that I remember from that game when our guys fought their butts off, played hard all the way to the whistle. I mean, they gave us everything they got. We was playing against the top team in the country, and I thought them guys came ready to play. As far as the bad part of it, I mean, we talked about this as a staff. I mean, you give us a few plays back, it's a different ball game. Just small things, giving them the ball on the fumble, turnovers and stuff like that kind of affected the game. We just wish you can get those back. But overall, I mean, I was happy with the way the guys played. They fought their butts off, gave us everything they got.
And I mentioned a second ago how a lot of what I'm going to be asking you now is kind of like season wrap-up stuff. So I know I've asked Coach Boykin this several times throughout the season, but I want to get your opinion on it as the OC. Just how would you evaluate, how the two quarterback systems kind of work for you guys with Malcolm and Chris kind of getting, equal reps in practice and kind of going back and forth during the games?
I mean, that's kind of a tough deal. Both of them guys bring different things to the game. I thought Coach Boykin did a great job of managing that, making sure that, we'd be able to play both guys, putting them guys in the right situation. Like, again, they both bring different things. So, we have certain plays we want to call for Malcolm, certain plays we'll call for Chris. It actually worked out. You don't really hear too many teams actually be able to do that through the whole year. Usually that's a beginning of the season type of deal to kind of sort out who's going to be the best guy. But, both of them guys did a great job for us this year. And actually, I actually learned something new. I've never seen anybody do this. I guess it can be effective if you got the right group of guys that's unselfish and wants to help this team and do whatever it takes to build this program up.
Mm-hmm. Brendan Ridley's had a really good year at wide receiver. Being that you were a wide receiver coach, do you feel like he could potentially be a cornerstone for that room going forward?
Oh yeah, he's that kid is awesome. He's awesome. He came in day one. Let me know what his goals were. I mean, I think for the first couple of days, you might as well say he was a coach. He was sitting in my office. He wanted to know the playbook. We sat down. We went through everything to make sure he gets caught up because, he came in late. Of course, he was a little bit behind, but that kid, he done everything I asked him to do. He plays hard. He's a smart kid. I mean, at this point, he knows every position at the receiver position at this point. So, that kid is going to be something special moving forward in his career.
Staying on that side of the ball, I know Elijah Burris didn't necessarily replicate his production from last year. Still able to be effective, but Quan Snipes really stepped up, I feel like, in the running back room. Just what were your thoughts on his performance throughout this season?
Elijah Burris, to start with him, man, I mean, that hurts. I mean, it's hard to replace Elijah Burris. I mean, he was preseason CAA potential player of the year. I mean, his talent is to lose that kind of a kid. I mean, it definitely hurts us on offense. But, just like any other program, any other sport, we need guys to step up. I thought Snipes stepped up. I thought Tymir Robinson stepped up. I mean, even Shepard, our young guy that came in, I think Shepard is a freshman or a sophomore or something like that. Them guys stepped up and did their job for our team. And right now, I mean, we're probably one of the top rushing offenses in the CAA right now. So I applaud them guys being able to step up when the guy went down. I mean, that's a part of the game. Next guy got to step up. That's a part of the business, performance-based.
Now that you've got basically an entire body of work to kind of look back on, just I guess how would you evaluate yourself as year one as an OC here at Hampton?
Well, one thing I could tell you about, like I tell everybody, it's not just me. If you look at our coaching staff and our offensive room, I mean, to be honest, I've been around. I've coached at the XFL, AAF. I've been around a little bit. And this is probably the best offensive staff I've been a part of. I believe everybody in that room has been a coordinator. And then on top of that, we have our head coach as an offensive background, comes in to give us his input. I mean, so you got like 5 guys, 5 brains working together, working on putting the game plan together. I'll be lying if I sit up here and say that we didn't do this together. It's not just me just calling the plays. I got, run game coordinators, pass game coordinators giving me plays that will be effective from up top. I think we work really well together. So as far as the performance overall, I thought it's not just me, we did a good job together of putting our guys in the best situation, for us to be successful on offense. And I believe it's paying off.
I know you're probably not looking too far past this weekend with one more game left, but in terms of, the offseason being right around the corner, what are some of the biggest things that you feel like the offense needs to attack this year, whether it is the portal or, X's and O's or, stuff like that? What do you think the offense's biggest, point of it?
As far as the X's and O's thing, I believe, you have to keep learning. You can never stop learning. I think when you stop learning as a coach, it's time for you to get out of the business. Because the game is evolving. I believe that you have to keep building and add things that can help our team. as far as for the team in offseason, I think we as a team, as a coaching staff, players, we all need a good offseason. This will be the first offseason under Coach Boykins. And as you can see, since he's been here as the head coach, the program has changed. We look different, offense and defense. We look good different as a program. Everything is heading in that direction. So I believe this good offseason as a coaching staff and as a player is going to play off huge. He has a great plan for the offseason. I think that moving forward, you're going to see the Pirates going to be something to deal with in the CAA moving forward.
One last game on the season with Albany coming up. Just what have you seen on tape from Albany, and what does your offense need to do to come home with the win?
They are they're a 4-2-5 team pretty much. They will get in some odd up front. Nothing that we haven't seen all year. I mean, this conference kind of I hate to say it, it's kind of like it seems like it's a copycat league. Everybody does kind of the similar kind of things, but it's nothing that we haven't seen before. Bottom line, it's coming down to us. We like to get the game plan, focus on what we need to do as far as attacking them on offense, attacking their defense. Attacking their defense. But it's all about us and how we play. If we come to play and worry about us, I feel like we can go down there and take care of business and get this victory. But they have a good team. I know their record doesn't show it. I know last year, I think they went to the quarterfinals or semifinals, I believe. And I know they lost a lot of guys to the portal and some guys stayed. But at the end of the day, they still have a good team, they still have good players, and you have to come to play every week. I don't care who it is or what your record is, you have to come to play every week. So we're not going to go there and take them lightly because they only have 2 or 3 victories or whatever. We come in there and treat them like they're Richmond or they're one of the top teams in the CAA. So we worry about us, we don't really like to worry about anybody else.
There you go. Appreciate you, Coach.
No problem.
All right, same with you. Good, bad, and ugly from Richmond.
The good, the guys played to the end. They fought, they played for 60 minutes, they competed every down. The bad, tackle better. We didn't communicate well throughout the game for the whole 60 minutes. We did not tackle well or communicate as good as the coaches would like it to be. So those would be the points I have there.
I think looking at several different statistics, the defense has improved across the board this season. Just what do you feel like has been? Is there one thing that you can point to that's been the key, or you feel like it's just kind of across the board improvement?
Well, similar to what Coach Blizzard has said, our defensive staff is phenomenal. We have 2 D-line coaches, 2 secondary coaches, and we all collaborate together. They bring a wealth of knowledge in different areas to our team, so therefore we put our heads together, we come up with a game plan, and we teach our kids. Our background is education, so we know how to teach our kids and give them everything they need to be successful in the classroom, carry it over to the practice field and get them ready for Saturday. So for the statistical gains we've made this year, Coach Boykin has let us work. He's trusted us with the defense. We had a little rocky road about game 3 or 4. But after that, we got those corrections made after self-scout, and then we took off as a defense because we all collaborated and moved it along, knowing the personnel we have, and then we took them and put them in positions to be successful.
I asked Coach Boykin about this last week, a couple of weeks ago, but you guys had a nice stretch there where you were allowing less than 100 rushing yards, a game for your opponent. Just, do you feel like a switch kind of flipped around halfway through the season, like you kind of mentioned?
Yes. We look back at a self-scout, just like everybody does during the season, and what was hurting us. And we made some adjustments with our alignments on defense, and that gave us some solid edges so people couldn't block down on our 6 technique. We ended up going to a 9 technique and changing up some of our front stuff. And that helped us in the run fit game. But the biggest thing is tackling and team pursuit. Once we got those guys to buy into that consistently of tackling the football solid, the first man on the ball, knocking them down, but we got team pursuit coming to the ball, so just in case one guy misses, the next guy's ready to knock him down. That was our thoughts going forward.
You got 2 vets in the secondary that are your top 2 leading tacklers this year, in Trey Everett and Jordan White. I mean, just how advantageous is it really to have two veterans like them in the secondary for this defense?
Well, they have been amazing for our program. Those guys come to work every day. First one in the meeting room, last one to leave in the afternoon or the nighttime. They're constantly in there watching film. Coach Gibson does a great job with those guys, giving them notes and reminders throughout the week to prepare them for Saturday. They take our vision and they take it to the players, and they help disseminate all the information to them. They are great guys on the field, great teammates to their teammates. They are able to make our defense grow, and everybody's productive under them. So they just a voice for us as we go through it. But their production is phenomenal. because they know what to do and they know what the opponent's trying to get accomplished. So therefore, we try to play the game Sunday till Friday and then turn them loose on Saturday and let them do their job.
On the topic of self-scout and self-reflection, I guess, I know this is not your first year as a defense coordinator here, but just how would you evaluate how you were this season?
Well, once again, I go back to our staff. It's nothing that Todd McComb has done to make this defense great. Once again, Coach Boykin has given us an opportunity to actually coach football, to not restrict us, to not limit us. And therefore, with our staff we have now, they're able to bring all the ideas together. And then once we get those ideas together, we're able to teach the kids. So it's nothing that Todd McComb has done. Rod Howard, Kentwan Bomber, Marcus Gibson, and Darren Jackson are as much of the success of this defense as Todd McComb. There's nothing that I've done that warrants anything better than just listening to our staff and us building this defense together.
What are some of your priorities for the defense going into the offseason?
Just recruiting. We know what we were able to accomplish up until this point with the guys we have. We'll continue to recruit so we get bigger, stronger, faster, smarter. We'll get all those things in place, and we'll continue to study and self-scout us in the off season once we get done with this recruiting in January, leading into February signing day. Something that's code red to me right now is red zone. Third down, we're decent. We're around 30-some% in third downs. But red zone, when people get in the red zone on us, they are typically scoring more points than we would like to allow. So therefore, we need to go study. We need to go research some of the tops in the country to find out their tricks and trades in the red zone and be able to say, hey, we can bring that back to Hampton University to make us even better in situations. So that, along with how to get better as a tackler, how to motivate kids to do what you need them to do consistently day in and day out. So those are things that we'll be looking at to evaluate going into the off season of what we can do to make us a better version of Hampton defense in 2025.
Just one last one. Got one last game this Saturday. Just what's your scout on Albany, and what do you guys need to do to come home with the win to close out the season?
Well, I'll tell you this. Albany, they're an amazing team. And I say that every week because they're the next best team. We're lined up against those guys. They play 3 quarterbacks. They play 4 running backs, 3 tight ends, 7 receivers. They have a plethora of weapons, and they know how to utilize them to be successful. Now, are they always clicking on all cylinders? Sometimes they're just like our defense. They hit and miss. But at the end of the day, if they can get it all going in the right direction, they're going to be a pretty tough team to compete with on Saturday. But we feel like our game plan going into it, we know where we can attack them, and we're looking forward to the challenge on Saturday.
Appreciate you, Coach.
Yes, sir.
All right, Coach.
Yes.
One last time. Give me your good,
The good, the bad, and ugly. Again, we say the same thing. Our guys compete, in the past maybe, but they've stuck together. They play to every second on the clock, and that's always been a good thing as a coach. You want to feel that on the sideline that, they're playing until the last whistle. And they are. You can feel it on the sideline. Didn't matter what the score was. Guys just kept fighting and kept fighting and kept fighting and gave us a chance. The other thing is you're finding that there is no separation between offense, defense, special teams. Everybody is, rooting for, hey, defense get the stop. When offense is, on the field, offense goes score. So, those are the good things. The bad things are, we're still making those mistakes at the wrong time. The kickoff return where we let it hit the ground, the fumble with the quarterback center exchange. We're still doing those things, and again, it doesn't matter in this conference and in football in general. You can't allow teams that play on a short field, and we're still doing that stuff. And then the ugly is, we had the chance right there to win it or at least tie it, and we didn't get it done. So, there's things, and our guys know it and they feel it. They understand that each and every week, you got to go out and give it your all and play your all and limit those mistakes that you don't want to have in games like that.
Wrapping up your first regular season, I'll ask you the same question. Just how would you evaluate, year one as a head coach?
There's a lot that that I still want to get accomplished. I think the biggest thing in year one is just building the culture, and I think that's the direction that I'm most happy with right now. The wins and losses, they'll come, but you want to set that foundation of a culture, and I think that's what we're doing. And so when I look at where we are, that's the biggest thing that I'm probably most happy about, and is just the culture that we're building. Guys holding each other accountable, guys and understanding, the expectation of the staff and of each other. There is no gray area. There is no coulda, shoulda, but they know. And so, that's probably the biggest thing after this year one, that I can say you can start to see the foundation is being laid to what this program is going to look like, down the road.
Kind of, what your coordinators were just saying was they kind of feel like they can coach a little bit more, I guess, is kind of what I was picking up from that. It's just, do you feel like, what is the difference between, this year and last year in that sense, being that you were an assistant last year?
I think the biggest thing is just having that confidence that each group can be a little more creative. I think that's where you look at, and again, every coach has their different styles, and some guys are more, hey, this is what we're going to do, and sometimes you just a part of a group that has a little bit more creativity. And I think both sides of the ball, and even special teams, all three, there's been able to be a little more creativity than maybe in the past. And so when you can do that, it kind of rubs off on everybody, because even the defensive side, as a player, you can see, okay, we're a little more creative than maybe a year ago. Offensively, we're doing some things. So I think just the creativity, the freedom to have a little more creativity in the past is kind of what brings them more. Because when you're watching film and you're like, oh man, there's some things that we can do here, and you have the freedom to kind of be a little more creative. That gets people's juices flowing as they're watching film.
I know, when you get back from Albany, I imagine you get a day and a half, if that, off before you jump right into recruiting. I mean, what does that schedule look like for you once you guys get back?
Busy. We're recruiting, I think, during the game last week, Liz and I, we were recruiting on the bus driving over to so the recruiting is just going to keep going. They'll have, Monday and Tuesday, we'll be in it, before we take a little time off for Thanksgiving. But Monday, Tuesday is a big day to prepare for watching film on some guys we're still on the bubble on, guys that we still like, positions that we still need to get some more players looked at. So, it's straight recruiting. We'll have a little bit of time off for Thanksgiving and come back on that Sunday, Monday, and get right back in it again, because at the end of the day, you as good as a coach you may think you are, you win with great players. And so, bringing in new guys with the guys that we have, with the great characters that we're looking for, guys that love football, we'll be heavy in that until February the 4th.
Kind of touched on that, bro. I mean, what are some of your points of emphasis as you go in to the offseason? I imagine recruiting is probably number one and will take up 80% of your time in the offseason, but what are you focusing on?
Well, again, we will have our exit meetings with our players, and kind of give them a blueprint of kind of what we're looking for when they come back. I always say you still have to recruit your guys that's here. With the portal the way it is now, you better recruit your guys that are already here on campus. Give our guys some good feedback on, what we are looking for from them when they come back, from Thanksgiving and from Christmas break. And so you're looking at those kind of things. Recruiting wise, just athletes. We need to bring athletes into this building. We know positions that we're going to lose a lot of players at. So now you're trying to figure out who's back, who's leaving, how much you need to put in to this position because of depletion from that. So, and then you go and kind of, for myself, we'll kind of, okay, what could we do different in practice? How do we watch film? How do we schedule lifting with position meetings? And so for me, it'll go back to kind of looking at, okay, here was the structure that we had. What do we want to do? How can I change it? Then, you start looking at what teams are doing. I want our coaches to be able to go and sit with other programs and learn. And so kind of like Todd said, like once the season is over, what do we need to get better at? There's some teams I like how they recruit, so I might go and just sit for a day and kind of pick their brain on how they recruit. Other places may be special teams, other places may be offense and defense. So, we'll put a calendar together of a kind of recruiting, what we want to get accomplished with our guys that are here, a lift program, a winter workout program. How can we go and meet with other programs and kind of pick their brains and what they're doing. So there'll be a couple days to kind of sleep in till 6 instead of 5 and get up and do it all over again.
Yeah. I think a win this weekend will give you the most wins this program has had since 2018. Is that something you're cognizant of going in on?
You're aware of it. You don't talk about it, but in the back of your mind, what that does, for your program, for recruiting, for the guys coming back, for the morale of the guys. You don't talk about it, but it's there, and we understand, finishing with being 6-6, what that does for the program. But at the end of the day, we don't talk about it. We just, hey, let's go to work, put in the work. They're doing the same thing. They want to end on a winning note. So we know they're going to come with their best game. It's their senior day, and so we have to be prepared to match that energy. We don't talk about it, but everybody understands what this win would mean for this program this year.
Pretty much got the scout on Albany taken care of, so I believe got the hook on that one this week. But what is it gonna take for you guys to be able to complete that? And come
again, that complete game. I think on both sides of the ball, we're always saying, man, we're 5-6 plays here, 5-6 plays there, but just all three phases just coming together, playing a clean football game. Defense, causing turnovers, offense not putting the ball, and then defense, offense, holding on to the football, special teams, executing what they're supposed to do. So, this week is you would love to see just a clean football game from us. We've been right there so many times, but a play here, a play there, a miscue there, a miscue there, and you're finding yourself in a position where you're like, man, and it would be nice this weekend to not say what if and just go out and play like we know we can. They're a good football team. I know their record doesn't show it, but they had a great season last year. Coach knows how to win. But for us, if we just focus on us and do what we need to do in all three phases, then we'll be okay.
Appreciate you.
Man, appreciate you.